Are we live? What's good, great people? I am Ezel Moon, and I have a special guest in the building today. My girl, Cherie Danielle, shall be joining me for a frank conversation. Y'all, I'm absolutely honored to have her. She's Atlanta's very own. New York, she has time up there as well. But all of her experiences has culminated in her being a comedian, a goddamn screenwriter, and as well as an actor. This should be an amazing conversation, so let's get to it. Wash your legs. What's going on?
Hey, what's up?
How you feeling?
I'm feeling blessed. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling just in a new chapter of life. I can't complain.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing. That new chapter, man. You kind of feel it like right before it starts, like, oh yeah, no. This is about to be the level up season right here.
It is. It definitely is.
I wanted to talk about, somewhat humble beginnings, I guess. And then also, give you your flowers, for it. You as I was researching you started acting at the age of 8, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, you did that good research.
Hey, look,
okay, journalist.
Look, you did. But what I'm saying, you started as Ariel in The Little Mermaid. So I was trying to see, I want to give you your flowers because people don't know you walked so that Halle Bailey could fly. You know what I'm saying? You did that. You the ancestor in this case.
That is crazy. I don't even know where that information is. That's crazy that you have that information about me. But I've been emotional for the past month seeing The Little Mermaid happen. I'm so happy for Halle. I'm a Halle Bailey fanatic, first off. But yeah, The Little Mermaid I've always been obsessed with because that was my first play. And that is how I fell in love with acting. And it was at a summer camp. And, I was just this kid trying to have fun, didn't know what I was doing, but I ended up memorizing the whole play, knowing everybody's lines. It was back in the day. I don't even think I have actual photos of that production. I know I have a video. I have the full thing on video. If you go in my dad's basement, which I don't think nobody's trying to do, like his garage area is somewhere in there. They're going to have to find it. Like when I get nominated for my big awards, they'll be like, we need this old footage to talk about. But so I was the OG Black Mermaid.
You were. And so when you get to that big award show, when you get that footage, you're gonna use this interview part right here, right, as well. So,
yeah.
For sure. I just gotta get there. Thank you, man. In that though, getting that representation, seeing somebody that looks like yourself on screen, talk to us about, why that matters, especially for our Black girls.
I think it's really important because I feel like even as a child, like I was aware even when I was Little Mermaid that the lady in the movie didn't look like me, but I thought, why not? I'm gonna still go for it, and that was it was a diverse summer camp, there was other girls that looked closer to the part that probably could have got it. But, even at that young age, I didn't let things like that, deter me from going after what I wanted. So I think that it's important to be able to see that image so that is possible. And I feel like even with my experience going into the game, not having that limitation definitely made me continue that attitude throughout my journey where it's like, I'm going to stay strong in who I am. And, and I can catch the stuff because it's a lot of stuff out here. We can talk about different things. Like I've had experience where I've shown up to auditions, dressed to audition for a specific role. I'll never forget it. It was a commercial in New York, and I came dressed to audition for this specific part. And the lady over the audition was like, you can't audition for that part. And I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, this is the role they sent me. I can't remember if I had an agent at the time or if it was something I found on my own, but they told me this is the part you're auditioning for. I've memorized the lines for this. I've come dressed. I feel like that. But then I noticed they only had white women reading for that part. And then they told me, no, you're going to audition for this other part. The part I was auditioning for was like this hippie, free spirit. I'm like, this is all totally me, but they wanted a white woman to play that role. And then they had the Black women only reading to play like this boss lady figure, which I could have done, but I wasn't, dressed like that. I wasn't. So it just gave me a complete advantage. But the funny part is you saw they had white women reading for that part, and they had white women reading for the hippie role, but they weren't letting Black women read for both. And they didn't say it, but it's one of those things where it's like, if you got eyes, you know what's going on. So it's like one of those things where this is really how the industry is, but you can't let that, deteriorate, you from your mission, your journey, and what you're going after. So
it's amazing that that you have the ability to identify that and speak to it, especially now, right? Because it seems like the industry is still that way, even in 2023, not allowing for people to expand outside of the stereotypes, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it seems as if no matter what, there's always still going to be that pigeonhole, like, hey, we need somebody to be angry and
Black. It out several times in my career. Like, even that audition, it was just kind of like one of those things where it's like, I don't always look at it as you gotta push against it, because sometimes it's just like, if y'all don't see what's happening here, if y'all don't see that song, then I don't want no parts with y'all. It's people that know what's right and what's wrong. So it's like, after that situation, it didn't make me feel bad about being an actress or bad about anything, or even that audition. I'm just like, they're over there, they're on their thing, but they gonna get what's coming to them for sure. But even like a few years ago, I remember my agent sent me this audition. This is like the height of the George Floyd stuff. A lot of stuff. This is during the pandemic. A lot is going down, and they sent me this audition where it's like it's like specifically written for the Black woman to sound dumb in the commercial. And I don't know how else to say it, but it's one of those things where you're in the South, right? It's one thing people always, when it comes to text and scripts, they always write in the southernness. Like, you're gonna see a y'all, you're gonna see a n'all, you're gonna
right.
My issue with the script is only the Black character was talking like that, was saying gonna, y'all, not finishing the word. I'm from the South. I embrace the fact that we talk the way we talk and we have all that. But don't only have one character speaking like that, and then the one character is a Black woman, and then everybody else is white, because it's a lot of white people that talk like this in the South. Absolutely. So it's just like, y'all are trying to plant this seed of like, this is how you are. And then they even gave us a visual picture of a plus size woman, dark skin, with a sassy face. Like, this is what you're supposed to be kind of going after,
embodying.
And I was like, I'm not auditioning for this. Like, what? Like, this is raw. Like, this is, it's like y'all are making a mockery of Black women. So, it's just one of those things where representation is important, but all representation ain't great representation. Like, even that, it's like, they're like, oh, we're going to have diversity. We're going to have this Black woman and some other characters talking. But it's like, y'all, if y'all have this preconceived way that y'all want this Black woman to look and act like, it's giving mammy, it's giving, all those things. Yeah.
Man, you
yeah,
you're not wrong. You are not wrong. There's a lot of things that I've seen, as I've been inside of the industry, that has caused for me to take a level of pause and really consider, what we are looked at as inside by the world. And it seems that one thing that has been consistent is that we, for some odd reason, are held in the lowest tier across everywhere. But our mannerisms, our culture is mimicked and regurgitated in so many different ways across so many different places. I mean, from coast to coast, I wonder, what exactly could be some of the things that even yourself as an actress, right, can do on screen that could help change the narrative for where people could in fact be more respectful towards who we truly are, the greatness that we actually hold.
I feel like there's two sides to it. For me, I think, yeah, there's so much you can do as an actress, because I do think that it's one of those things where as an actor, you want to work, right? You know,
Right.
and I'm not going to be on my high horse and be like, oh, every problematic part, I'm just going to turn down and like, any part that's anywhere near. Because I mean, if you look at it in many ways, there's always going to be something that's kind of off with every character. There's no such thing as like a perfect character. And sometimes that's one of the things that I feel like is kind of difficult for the black actor, is like, okay, what is a human being a human being in a human being situation versus a stereotypical thing that's, you know, created to kind of make a mockery over a certain group of people that isn't realistic. I feel like there's a line, right? You know, like some people look at, oh, playing a drug dealer, you know, stereotypical. But at the same time, if that person is a drug dealer and the story is being told that's humanizing this person in a sense where this isn't a life that they want, this isn't a life that they really see happiness in the end, they're fearing their life every day, and you can bring that truthful matter to it, not this glorified, I got all the money, I got all the women or whatever. Then, you know, I think you're still doing a service, you know, as a black actor, even in this quote unquote stereotypical role. You know, if you're adding those layers to it, even if it isn't necessarily written that way, I feel like if you're adding those layers to it so that it's not only like you're seeing this drug dealer that's dumb, or this drug dealer that, you know, just is just heartless and ruthless. Like, I feel like if you're seeing the different layers of it and making it a multi-dimensional character and not a caricature of something, I think that's the power that you hold with being good at your craft and being a good artist. So I do think that there is a fine line, because I mean, there's only so many parts out there. There's not a lot of roles written for Black people, even with the community, the Hollywood expanding, is that still isn't a thing. So I think the most you can do as an actor is know your limits. I feel like, yeah, there's always going to be those things, you know, like that commercial where it's just like, this is just stupid. Like, this doesn't advance my career anyway. And if it does, it's not for the right reasons. So yeah, I'm going to walk away from it. But then there's certain things where it's like, you can see the layers, you know? And I think too, you have to look at who's behind it. You know, like not every story is only, you know, white faces or people separate from the community involved. Sometimes there is a Black person that wants to get this story out there for a specific reason that may not be automatically seen, where it's like, I, as a Black screenwriter, honestly just want this story to be told in a different light. Although other people may have told it before, I want people to tell the real version of it. So I feel like there's a you know, a fine line, but I do feel like what you see now more than anything is a lot of the actors I know, we're writing our own stories and gotten into screenwriting and that, because that at a certain point you do just start to feel a little bit powerless as the actor, and only being able to audition and not being able to actually create.
Right. You know, one of the things that I've always emphasized is, let us create our own tables, but also, you know, make sure that we have seats and spaces at other people's tables so that we as a community can come together collectively with the knowledge that we have and, you know, grow from there. Right. Yeah. I want to get into a little bit more about you, right? You know, some of the feats that you have. From opening for Aida Rodriguez, kudos to you. Yeah. To, you know, being in shows like Barry, Hush, writing your own one-woman show, The Diary of an Afro Goddess.
Yeah. I was like, you know, all the credits.
Look. I don't memorize a couple of the jokes that you've made too that are hilarious, but I gotta ask you this. What is your melanin heaven?
Okay, so first off, for those that don't get the question, in my Adelco Award nominated solo show, The Diary of an Afro Goddess, I talk about a place called Melanin Heaven. And to me, it's like a euphoria for Black people It's like a heaven for Black people, but in this heaven, they're not, colonized really. So in a sense, it's kind of like, uh to me, because I wrote this pre-Black Panther, it's
Right.
funny, how you come up with stuff and then you see different versions of something that you felt too, where it's like this was living in a lot of people wanted to see something like this. But it's more of like an African American version of a Wakanda, if you say, where like the way people talk about Wakanda is like Africa if it wasn't colonized. So a Black America uncolonized, I guess, is kind of like Melanin Heaven for me. But just a place where like so much of the trauma that we got from slavery
Mhm.
is just not
It's
a
not in.
thing, all the different things that we have that divide us. We're just free in our Blackness and all the beauty of it, all the sizes, all the shades, all the hair textures, all the different backgrounds, just all of it, just free. And it's not like all this constant tension.
Yeah, tension and
We're all
infighting.
we're all unified, we're all together, we're all happy just being Black, and I feel like for me at the time when I wrote that, I just that story, the stories that I tell in that solo show, a lot of them are sad because there's stories from my parents, from my ancestors, stories from my grandparent, but I wanted it to end on a happy note. I didn't want it to be this typical sad ending for a Black drama, or this sad. So I've seen some very sad theatrical pieces, that are beautiful, but just end sad. And the same thing with, even solo shows in general. It can just be this lonely, sad thing. But I wanted to paint this very large, big picture of everybody that we've lost coming together with everybody that's here now and just vibing. So that's what I wanted to paint with that.
Um, there's something that you have said, prior that really had me took a moment of pause for me. Um, and it ties to this, right? I wanted to ask you what aspects of your journey brought you to the conclusion that we cannot reach the state of mind freedom without self-love.
Mm. I honestly, and it's crazy because at the time that I wrote this, I don't even think I had truly experienced like what it means to love yourself. Like I wrote
Mm.
this, and then not to give away too much information, but I ain't ashamed of my age. But 31 and now, and I wrote this play 24 going into 25 is when I wrote this play.
Mm.
And even just then, like the years that I've had since I wrote that, like I feel like I've really began to just touch the surface on like what self-love is. And I feel like so much as an artist, as a Black artist, first you're going through the journey of just being comfortable in your art and going against all the things that this industry puts on you to somewhat make you water down, or not. You don't look at it as hate yourself, but in hindsight hate yourself, and you get through that. And I think that's kind of what I gotten through by the time I started writing that piece. But then I think outside of the identity of being an artist is the self-love that I'm trying to get to now. And that's even bigger, because that's the thing about it is we all have that. We have that love that we have for who we are as a Black person, for the things that our ancestors have been through, for who we are walking this world right now, and what we mean as far as like being our ancestors' wildest dreams and embracing that, right? But at the same time, there's just us as people too, like, just taking care of our mental health, loving ourselves, loving being alone, loving being ourselves without the validation of getting parts or accolades or nominated for things. And I think through the pandemic and through my life between my late 20s and now in my early 30s, it's really just finding that love of just being me, just me, even when I'm not creating art, even when I'm not in something, like the love, the value for me, because that's what's going to motivate people and inspire people. That's what's going to attract the people in your life that you want. And it's just that love that you have for yourself outside of all these identities, outside of me being Cherie the comedian, Cherie the actress, Cherie the playwright or screenplay writer. Like, do I love just Cherie for who she is? You know, and those are the questions that I have to constantly ask myself and reaffirm in myself and validating myself every day. It's not a stopping point, you know. It's because it's easy to get caught up in, so especially when so much of my life has revolved around me being these different things. I think, yeah, it's just that self accountability for who am I mentally, spiritually, without all of these different titles. And when that love is at its highest, that's when the art becomes its best.
So if I were to ask you, who are you without the titles, then who would you say that you are?
I think I'm a loving, passionate spirit. You know, I'm
Right.
somebody that is a people person, but is very comfortable being alone inside with nobody. Um, and I'm a person that I think is a hard a hard worker, in a sense where I know that the work on myself, like I said, is never done.
Yeah.
And I know that I can bring that passionate to so many other elements of who I am. So I just feel like I'm a lover, I'm a motivator. You know, I can be quiet. I can, you know, just I'm somebody that thinks probably way too much. But you know, it's embracing just all of those different, you know, I'm outgoing, but at the same time I'm a little bit awkward too. Like, it's just all of those different things about myself that I feel like I had to always kind of, you know, kind of put down,
Right.
push to the side, because it's like, you know, oh, they're not gonna get you a part, give you a part, or want to see you in a show if they realize you're a little awkward. They can't know that you have a little stage fright. They can't, you know. But now I'm like, I'm at a point where I'm embracing those things somewhat, you know, and seeing like, well, what is the bottom of that? The bottom of that is, you know, I do care, you know, not so much where it's like, oh, somebody's opinion of me is gonna dictate my entire life, but you know, I care about things, and with that caring, with that overthinking, sometimes it comes out in little awkward quirks or whatever. But yeah, just even stuff like that, just embracing that. Yeah.
I think that's a beautiful thing, honestly. You know, being able to say freely and unabashedly that, hey, I'm awkward and I understand more of myself, and at a point in my life where I'm embracing all the different aspects of myself that I used to set aside.
Yeah.
That's amazing, because it's not it still hasn't become normal in the society that we live in, to where you're like able to say, hey, like, I embrace me for who I am. There's still a great deal of push against that, to where everybody where, hey, you have to conform to whatever the mainstream is, and if you are not conforming to what the mainstream is, then you yourself are in fact an outcast. But I'm grateful to see that the outcasts are really starting to really starting to take over. It's like the shit we're in that space where we're watching the shift happen, and it's a blessing, you know.
Yeah, totally. Because, like, if you asked me years ago, I'd be like, I'm bold, I'm strong, I'm not
Right.
afraid of nothing, you know, because it's just like, you know, not that that part doesn't exist, but it's just like, in order for those parts to exist, this other half of it, there's like a duality in all of us that's just like ever working. Like, that boom, boom, boom comes from that fear deep down inside of like, oh my goodness, I can completely mess this up. So that's why I gotta boom, boom, boom. But you
Right.
know, that part of like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, that's a real part, you know? So yeah.
Do you ever have to deal with imposter syndrome? And if you do, how do you fight through that?
um, I think I definitely dealt with that. And
Hmm.
my response, I don't think I looked at it as I probably overcompensated and overthought about it a lot when
Right.
I was first in spaces where I felt like, like
I'm
what,
not supposed to be here.
yeah, like I'm not supposed to be here. And I
Right.
think recently in my life, I feel like I was in a position where I'm like, I don't think I'm ready. I'm not supposed to be here. And I completely just overthought everything and was just completely taken back. And it did not, to me, turn out the way I would have liked it to turn out. So I feel like ever since that moment, I've just been taking the time to not necessarily downplay what I do, but like I said, it comes with this whole breadth of like, I'm other things outside of Cherie the performer. And I think this past year has been that self discovery. And I feel like that has allowed me not to have this imposter syndrome of like, I mean, I'm still human. Obviously, certain things are always, certain circumstances are always going to make you a little nervous or whatever. But I think I don't put so much on things as I used to. I think because so much of my identity was being not only being an artist, but being a successful artist,
Yes.
I think imposter syndrome really got the best of me in a lot of times. But I feel like ever since I've taken that whole thing, like if this doesn't work out, if that doesn't work out, if this big person doesn't think you're that great, like you're still Cherie. Like, like I think letting go of that and knowing that I'm going to be fine regardless, knowing that like everything happens in a divine timing and a divine flow and energy, and regardless if whatever big opportunity, whatever moment doesn't go the way I would have wanted to, or whatever person that I think is important doesn't like me the way I would have wanted them to like me or whatever, like I'm still who I am. I'm still going to be okay. Like there's still going to be a part of me that can create, do something else, make something else, outside of that. And I think ever since I've been digesting that mindset, it's allowed the imposter syndrome not to be this big thing.
I wonder, I want to just slightly shift it because you mentioned something in there that was pretty amazing, about being a creative. Um, when it comes to dealing with those blocks that tend to pop up when we're working, what are some strategies that you have? I recently learned that apparently like there's like movements that you have to do that you can do that will help with like you have to like do like this, right? Like do like this.
I
Yeah.
mean, I gotta get more physical. Like dance is like the lowest thing on my talent list. Like,
Right.
it's like God bless me with a lot of things, but like that movement aspect isn't really all in there. So for me, I mean, I'm trying to get physical, but that's another part of another, conversation. But just me, as far as those creative blocks, I think what helps inspire creativity in me is a few things. I feel like if I feel blocked, sometimes seeing creativity or being around creativity can inspire me. That's why I love going to see plays. I love going to see movies. I love watching live musicians. Like I'm the type of person like watching live entertainment or something live, like it gets my creative juices flowing. And it can be anything. Like I saw a live band perform a month ago. They were so good. This group, I think they're located in the DMV, but I think they're called like
Okay.
DuPonts, Deuce. There's some people out of Howard, and they have this band, these beautiful black men. They all play instruments, but they came to Atlanta. They performed, and literally just being in the audience and listening to them play was like making me be like, yo, I could write a whole short film about this one song that they're like doing right now. Like in my mind, I'm like literally thinking like this is a whole short film like about this and like so different. Like I really like seeing creativeness happen in front of me always inspires more creativity. If I'm not able to immediately see those creative things, I'll say sometimes it's just writing. As a writer, sometimes it's not always like, let me write the movie, let me write the script, let me write the play right now. Sometimes it's literally journaling, just journaling how you feel. And I'm preaching to myself because I haven't done that in a minute. But there's this book called The Artist's Way that one of my favorite acting teachers and the director of my solo show, Mariska Phillips, She introduced me to that book years ago, and that book talks about morning pages, and it just kind of takes you through different processes of things like taking yourself on an artist date. You know, for me, like my artist dates are like going to see stuff live, or even going to see a movie by myself, you know, because all those things just go keep my creativity going. But the morning pages are like just waking up and writing your thoughts, not trying to make a story out of them, not trying to make, but just getting thoughts out. And then maybe later, you know, like when you are trying to really write an actual story, like you can pull from that same energy. So those are a few things that I think mentally kind of help you get creative.
You know, I can't wait for the second half of this episode. But we do have to take a quick commercial break really fast. Y'all make sure y'all stick around and yeah, man, enjoy this. She's amazing. Commercial.
Where you get your hip hop from? Yeah. What's up? This tribal trigger trench in the building. You already know. Nip, naughty.
Hey, Redman is in the building, of course. Jersey's finest, all about them bars, marijuana smoker. Hey, PSA announcement. I need everybody go support. That's right, support my fucking state, my city. Heritage Hip Hop, a New Jersey media source that celebrates New Jersey hip hop worldwide. Facts. Please subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop on social media. That is Heritage Hip Hop on social media.
What up, y'all, man? It's your boy Do It All, Do Pray Kelly, right here on Heritage Hip Hop, man. Look, man, let me tell you something. Make sure you support Heritage Hip Hop, because without these brothers bringing you hip hop, we're not gonna stay informed, man, the way that we need to stay informed, man. And they're not just giving you hip hop, man. They're giving you the heritage of hip hop, right here, man. Yo, Karev, I see you. Heritage Hip Hop, man. Let's do it. It ain't nothing like Heritage Hip Hop.
All right, and we are back. Let's see. I wanted to dive into the comedy, but I'm like comedy or dating? Comedy or dating?
Whatever you feel drowns. I feel like most of my comedy stuff is about dating stuff. So it's gonna be a mixture of the two, however you flip it. Yeah.
I was gonna say, because you definitely know how to turn that into. I was like, oh, she's stalking for real. I did that's a different type of. Listen, and don't get me wrong, right? You know, I know since you revealed your age, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and tell mine. I'm 32, about to be 33 myself. And so, you know, I was like, bro, the way that she described this stalking on this stage right here, that was hilarious. But I don't know if people understand, like, my bad. I have a quote. Don't go ghosting motherfuckers if you don't want to get haunted. Hilarious. I don't know if what's going on with the dating pool. You know, it seems as if like there's every type of drug, feces, and pee inside of it at this point in time. So, you know, from your experiences, right? Talk to us about what it is that you're looking for at this stage, and if you're even honestly looking for something, or if you just be like, hey, you know what, forget it. Like, have you given up? Because I'm like this close to giving up myself. But go ahead, talk to us about what you're looking for.
Well, I'm a hopeless romantic, you know. So I'll never really give up on love. I'm really into deep connections with people and just like getting underneath the surface stuff, and you know, and having a person motivate me to be better and I motivate them to be better and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna always be in deep pursuit of like that epic, you know, black love situation. But I mean right now right now, I did just get out of an intense relationship not too long ago. So right now, you know, I'm meeting people. I have, you know, people in my life that I feel like, you know, it could go a certain way, but I think for me, I've rushed a lot of situations in the past, so I'm trying to take my time when it comes to those people that I really, find interest in. So yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I like that. You got to make sure that you're in a, that you're around the energy that you need to be around so that you can move forward in the direction that you want to move forward in.
Yeah, because I move fast. Like I feel like I'm so emotional during a relationship that like by the time we break up, like, it don't take me but a few days, I'll be like, all right, so what's next for me, I'm not like one of those like healers or I gotta now take a break. I gotta be to myself for like a year or whatever. Like, no.
I tried doing that
We too
myself.
old to be taking them massive breaks. Like, nah, child. Like it was cute. Maybe when you was like 20, 21, like I'm gonna take 3 years out the game, whatever. But it's like, nah. Not I said the cat. It's just like we ain't got that type of time to just be like, so I definitely believe in healing and working on yourself as you're, meeting people. Because like I said, that never stops, even once you're with the person. And nobody's perfect. Nobody has it all right. Nobody is the master of relationship communication. And it's just always going to be a thing, and especially between Black women, Black men, it's always going to be, you think you good when you get in that relationship. It's like, we communicate differently, and it's coming together and trying to figure out, how to make that a thing. So, but yeah, I think, back to the comedy stuff with the ghosting. I'm not stalking anybody these days. It has been a minute since I've really been ghosted. It's just that's a really good joke, so I can't stop doing it. But I'm trying to write more stuff about like my recent experiences because I wrote those jokes like maybe like three years ago now. And even when I wrote those jokes, I was writing them based off of years prior. So yeah, my early 20s, mid 20s is kind of wild with the stalker incidents, but I've calmed down a little bit. Nobody's brought that out of me.
Okay, I see you self-control. Look at you.
Yeah, guys, self-control, and I think it's just dealing with, more mature people. I think, when you get older, you automatically end up dating people that, I think are more mature. Even me now, I be dating people a little younger than me because I look so young. So, but they're the mature, people of that age. So it's different,
Okay. All right now. All right. So, all right, for those of you, I feel that. I respect that. I myself, I don't know if I can. Like I got like a threshold. Like the lowest I can go is 27, because around about that, once you start trying to date people that like were born in the late 90s, they don't know what they like.
Yeah, they are different. It is.
Oh God, like 90 to 94. Maybe I'll even give it like a little bit of 95, a little bit of 90.
Yeah, it do get weird when you start hearing people. It's like you'd be like, "Wow, it's really people that out here that's born in 1996." Like that.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't even feel right. Like I said, yeah, I don't do that much. Like, I think for me, I'm 31, so I'd say 25 and up.
Right.
But it's not like. It really do be kind of 27, and like I don't really think I've come across somebody younger than 27 really that
because you would literally be like trying to hold a conversation. I still believe in phone calls.
Yeah.
like I know
I'm here for the phone calls. I appreciate the phone calls.
Like I know what the world is saying. Like text me, like, listen, call me.
That's the thing. That's the thing. And then I think too, it just depends on who they're used to dealing with, because a lot of on both sides, a lot of people have felt, even me, like I'm awkward about that. It's like I like to talk on the phone, but then some people, there's some guys that are just like, that look at it as like, why you calling me?
Right.
So it's but then they have encountered a lot of women that are like, don't call my phone. Like I like just text, I'm not the best texter. So it's like, For me, I just try to get with the person in person, or, if it's like, long distance situation, we try to do the FaceTime, but yeah, like I like communication. So it is a weird time where it's like, you meet those people that are like, nah, I don't want to talk. It's just like, what we doing? What we doing here?
Like,
So, yeah.
Communication is literally is what saves and helps, is a building block of any good relationship, whether it be something that is in fact for lovers, friends, or even just family. Just being able to clearly communicate your needs, your wants, your expectations, your boundaries, it's necessary. I wanted to switch gears a little bit and go into, your inspirations and your goals, right? What is currently inspiring you, and where exactly are you working to?
I think currently I'm just mostly inspired by the people that have made names for themselves and didn't necessarily depend so much on bookings and other people to kind of be holding the fate of their career, in somebody else's hands. I think especially now at this point in my life where I've moved into working full time, like I'm balancing being a corporate creative. So that's completely new to me, because most of my life I've only done like part-time jobs because I'm trying to have enough time to do creative stuff or be available for creative stuff. But I've realized how that just ends up becoming a poisonous setup for artists, and I mean, this isn't to put down anybody that, I've met in my artistic journey, but I've met so many creatives between Atlanta and New York where it's like, they're of a certain age, in the game. And, now they want to just be able to support themselves. They're somewhat tired out of the industry, just want to be able to support themselves, but can't really get any job outside of waitressing because all they really have experience is doing that. And for me, I just didn't want to be that person. I think, so for me, when it came to my personal goals, I just decided that I'm going to work to support myself as a creative and be able to invest into my creativity. I think that's the biggest thing. I still have an agency. I'm still auditioning for things here and there, but I think right now, my overall focus, because I do so many things, even when it comes to the comedy world, it's just like, how can I make different creative lanes for myself outside of begging somebody to put me on their show or begging for a spot. I think you just grow tired of asking, for certain things. So I think for me, I'm just trying to build up my own bank account I can make a lot of things happen for myself. I think my one of my closest goals short term is to make a short film. That's my I've been writing a lot of different things. I wrote a pilot. I still submit the pilot for different contests and things, but I've written a short film before, but I'm in the process of writing another one, and I'm gonna make sure it goes up. I feel like a lot of people in my network, I feel like it can make it happen and see where I can go from there. So that's my first like short-term goal at the moment, is making my own short film and also being in it. That's a big thing for me right now. And then outside of that, continuing to grow in my comedy, getting to a point where I'm performing my own comedic show in some way, whether it be in the form of stand-up or even just doing like a comedic solo show. I'm trying to build myself up for that too, and just continuing to grow in my writing. Like all of those are like, kind of my immediate goals. I think long term, obviously, I want, all the jazz. I want to have like my own show. I want to have my own production company and stuff like that. But I think as far as the goal between the next 1 to 2 years are definitely the things that I mentioned earlier.
Nice. Look, hey, if you got a spot for me if you got a spot for me in any one of them, I'm right here. For who? You. Let me know. I want to get into the goal of the show. and that is philanthropy. Garnering support from the audience and putting it towards a charity or nonprofit that you care about. What charity or nonprofit would you like to spotlight today, and why is the cause of the faces so important to you?
I'm gonna shout out Everybody Eats. I volunteered with them back in 2020. They're in Atlanta and they work on feeding people in the community, the homeless community in Atlanta, but not just feeding them anything, feeding them food that is farm grown. They used to have partnership with, I'm not sure because I have to get back in communication with them, but you brought that to my awareness because they were literally at the tip of my mind this week. And I want to start doing work with them again this summer, as far as just helping people in need, making sure families have food. It's a black owned cause, and it's just really good as far as making sure people have not only food to eat, but healthy food, and that everybody eats. And like I said, and when I was doing work with them in 2020, it was so beautiful seeing the way, Black people from all different walks of life are coming together and helping people eat and growing food and different things like that. So I definitely support Everybody Eats and the whole team over there. And I do look forward to reconnecting with them this summer.
Absolutely. All right. So hopefully those who are under the sound of our voices are so inspired by our conversation today that they donate their time, energy, efforts towards Everybody Eats. I want to give you thanks. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, your effort, for being here this evening. I want to before we close out, we have tradition here where we like to leave with words of wisdom for the next generation. So I wonder for you, what words of wisdom would you have for those who are currently struggling with the type of roles that they want to accept?
I say, first off, and this is going to be my one curse for the episode, don't let nobody tell you shit. That's one. But as far as the more wisdom part of it, I'll say, when it comes to the roles you accept the roles that you connect with. Don't think so much about what other people think about the role, what other people may try and say, or whatever outside things. Like, oh, don't think what my parents will think or what other people watching may think. If you find something that connects you to that character, if you have a truth that connects you to that character, go for it. If you can't find the truth, you can't find the truth. Not to say that there's going to be completely all true or no. I'm saying if you have a truth to this character, go for it. If there's no truth in there at all, then turn it down. But if you can find a truth, go for it. And I feel like actors get what I'm saying more than anything.
Oh, yeah.
More for the actors, because it's all about finding the truth, So I don't know. It may sound weird to people that aren't actors, but if you find that truth, that spiritual connection to the character, then it's a yes. If you find nothing about the character, then it's no.
Absolutely. Oh man, thank you again. How can we follow you? How can we support you? Let the world know what we do.
I'm on Instagram at actress.CherieDanielle.com. I'm gonna start trying to post more. I definitely want to post more content this year, just trying to get this corporate creative life on balance. But this definitely has motivated me. Even me coming on your show has inspired me creatively. So thank you so much for this.
I'm honestly honored that you decided to do this, sincerely speaking. I'll never forget the first time I saw you. It's a skit that you was doing that was hilarious to me. It was the D sister skit, and I was like, I gotta interview her. She's hilarious. And from there, I'm just honestly thankful that the things that it's a very real thing where you can manifest, like, being able to finally speak to people and things of that nature. So, I actually manifested this one.
Yes, you better go for it. It's crazy. I want to tell you this, even when I was working with Vanetta, who I know she helped you with your site back when I was helping her do websites. We used to use your site as a reference. So I felt like I was always looking at you, going back to your website, trying to copy, when I was doing website stuff. So it is full circle. Maybe I manifested you as well.
That's crazy. Oh, hey, it is full circle. Damn. I wish, yay. Shout out to Vanetta. Y'all, if you don't know who that is, Vanetta Schofield, her Facebook got hacked, but IG is still working. Funny Honeys is the realest.
Young comedy queen. We love her.
Man, we love her. But yeah, y'all definitely, if you would like to follow me, I'm at Ezel Moon _. Thank y'all so much for tuning into a frank conversation. Hopefully I'll be able to see you on an in-person interview one day in the future. And yeah, like, share, and subscribe. Let's see. What do I usually say at this point? Oh, I'm Ezel Moon, and I'm not doing it unless it's fun and it helps people. Outro. Purchase my book, Purple Mike Wants a Bike, at Amazon.com. You can find it there. Just type in Purple Mike, type in Ezel Moon, and it'll pop up. If you guys want to follow me, no, not even if, go follow me at Ezel Moon _ on Twitter and Instagram.